1. Introduction. My name is Angela. I am 21 years old. I am a college student. Many students know me on campus. I have many friends. People often say I am popular. I enjoy my life at college. I like new clothes and going to parties. Being with my friends makes me very happy. One sunny afternoon, my best friends and I were at the campus cafe. It was a busy place. Many students were talking and laughing. We sat at a big table near the window. We were drinking cold coffee. We talked about our classes and our plans for the weekend. We laughed a lot together. It was a normal, happy day for us. Then, my friend Sophie looked at me. She had a big smile on her face. Sophie always had fun and sometimes crazy ideas. She said, "Angela, you always get what you want. You are very good at getting things. I have a fun idea for you. Let's make a bet." I stopped laughing. I was curious about her idea. "What kind of bet?" I asked her. Sophie looked around the cafe slowly. Her eyes stopped on someone sitting alone at another table. It was our new literature teacher. His name was Henry. He was a young man, perhaps in his late 20s. He was very handsome. He wore nice clothes, like a clean white shirt and a dark suit jacket. He also wore glasses. He always looked serious and thoughtful. Students thought he was very smart and important. Everyone respected him. He was new to our college this semester. So many students were still learning about him. Sophie leaned closer to me. She spoke softly so only we could hear. "Make him fall in love with you," she whispered. "Make him give you a kiss." She smiled a mischievous smile. "If you win this bet, we will give you a big surprise. It will be something very special for you." At first, I thought it was a crazy idea. I laughed because it seemed too difficult and perhaps even impossible. But my other friends started to talk. They teased me. "You cannot do it, Angela," they said. "This is too hard for you. He is a teacher." I never say no to a challenge. I like to win. So I looked at Sophie and my friends. I smiled a confident smile. "Fine," I said. "I will do it. I accept the challenge." Inside, I felt a mix of feelings. I was a little nervous about the idea, but mostly I felt excited. This was a new game for me. I liked games very much. I felt sure I could win this bet. This was going to be very interesting. 2. The first step. The next day, I went to Henry's literature class. I usually sat at the back of the room, often talking quietly with my friends. But this time, I chose a seat in the very front row, right in the middle. From there, I could see him clearly. He stood at the front of the room, speaking about the works of William Shakespeare. His voice was deep and calm, and he spoke with much passion, making the old stories sound new and exciting. I watched him carefully, observing his movements and expressions. This was the first, very important step of my plan to win the bet. I needed to make a strong impression. After the lecture finished, other students began to leave the room. They gathered their books and walked out, chatting with each other. I stayed in my seat, pretending to finish writing notes in my notebook. When most of them were gone and the room was almost empty, I slowly walked to his desk at the front. I wanted to ask him some questions about the day's topic. I made sure to look very interested in everything he had said, asking thoughtful questions about the poetry. He seemed a little surprised to see me still there, showing such a deep interest. "Angela, I did not know you liked literature so much," he said, and a small, pleasant smile appeared on his face. He looked genuinely pleased by my questions. I smiled back at him, making sure my eyes showed enthusiasm. "Yes, I really want to learn more, Henry," I said, using his first name, which felt a little bold. "Could you recommend some more books for me to read? I want to understand more about Shakespeare." He thought for a moment, then picked up a pen and a piece of paper. He wrote down a list of books, carefully choosing each title. He handed the list to me. "These are good books to start with," he told me. "They will give you a deeper understanding. If you need more help or have more questions, please feel free to visit my office during my office hours." This was perfect. My plan was working even better than I had hoped. I had an open invitation. I left the classroom feeling strong and confident. As I walked out, I saw my friends in the hallway. They were whispering and laughing, giving me thumbs-up signs. They knew I was making good progress with the bet. From that day on, I started to change how I dressed for his class. I chose clothes that were more elegant, more sophisticated, but not too fancy or over the top. Just enough to subtly catch his eye and show a different side of myself. I also changed my behavior in class. I made small, witty jokes, sometimes that related to the lecture. I smiled at him often, trying to make eye contact. And I always raised my hand to answer questions or to ask new ones, showing my engagement. I wanted him to notice me more, to see me as more than just another student. Henry always stayed very professional. He treated all students the same, with respect and fairness. But I could see small changes in his manner towards me. Each day, his eyes seemed to soften a little when he looked at me, a quick, almost unnoticeable moment. He listened very carefully when I spoke, giving me his full attention. It was a slow process, a gradual shift, but I felt like I was definitely getting his attention. This was only the beginning of the game. I knew I had to keep working on my plan to win the bet, step by careful step. 3. Getting closer. Weeks went by. I found myself visiting Henry's office very often. At first, our talks were always about literature. We discussed books, poems, and famous writers. I asked him many questions about the topics from class. He always answered me patiently and with a kind smile. He seemed happy that I was so interested in learning. But slowly, our conversations began to change. We started to talk about things that were not from books. We spoke about music that we liked. We shared our favorite songs and artists. We also talked about travel. I told him about places I wanted to visit in the future. He told me about the countries where he had studied. He had lived in Europe for a few years and had many interesting stories. We even talked about our dreams, big and small. I learned that he had a quiet and gentle side to him. This was something I did not expect when I first met him. I was getting to know the real Henry. One afternoon, I was in his office when the weather suddenly changed. It started raining very hard outside. There was loud thunder and bright lightning. I do not like storms. They make me feel nervous and a little scared. Henry noticed that I was uncomfortable. He looked at me kindly. He spoke softly and said, "Angela, you can wait here until the storm passes. No need to go out in this bad weather." I stayed in his office. He made us some hot tea. We sat and drank the tea slowly. The sound of the rain was loud, but inside it felt warm and safe. Then he picked up a book. He started to read a beautiful poem to me. His voice was calm and deep. As he read, my heart began to beat faster. It was a new and strange feeling. I tried to tell myself, "This is still part of the game. You are just playing the bet." But deep inside, I knew something was different. My feelings for Henry were slowly changing. It felt like it was becoming more than just a game. 4. The First Kiss. The college campus had a special literature night. It was an important event for many students and teachers. Henry was one of the people who would speak. I wanted to look my best for him. I chose a long dress. It was a beautiful red color. When I put it on, I felt very confident. Many people saw me that evening. They said nice things about my dress and how I looked. I felt happy to hear their words. After Henry finished his speech, I waited for him. The hall was full of people. He found me easily in the crowd. He walked to me. His eyes looked at me for a moment. Then he spoke. His voice was quiet, not like when he taught in class. It was softer. "You look stunning tonight," he told me. His words made me feel warm inside. I smiled at him, feeling a little shy. Later, we decided to take a walk. We went to the college garden. The air was cool outside. It was a clear night. Above us, the stars were very bright. We walked slowly, side by side. We talked about his speech and other things. We laughed together. I felt close to him. I watched his face as he spoke. I saw the way he looked at me. It was a special look. I knew then that this was the right moment. The moment I had been waiting for. I moved a little closer to him. My heart was beating fast. I could feel it in my chest. For a short time, he did not move. He seemed to think about something. He looked at me with a serious face. Then he whispered. His voice was very low. "Angela, this is not right," he said. I heard his words, but I did not step back. I kept looking at him. Then, slowly, he leaned towards me. His eyes closed a little. He kissed me. His lips touched mine softly. It was my first kiss with him. At that exact moment, my friends were hiding nearby. They were behind some bushes in the garden. They saw everything. They saw us kiss. This meant I had won the bet. The game was over. I had done what Sophie asked. But when his lips were on mine, I did not feel like a winner. My heart did not feel happy about winning a game. It felt something else. It felt very real. It felt alive. This kiss was not just a part of the bet anymore. It changed something inside me. It was more than a challenge. It was a real feeling. I had not expected this feeling. It made me think about things differently. The game had become something else. 5 real feelings. After that night, things were different between Henry and me. We both tried to act normal, but it was hard. Henry tried to keep his distance, but we could not. We wanted to be together. Our meetings became secret. We met in the library when few people were there. Sometimes we met late at night in his office. We also found quiet corners on campus where no one could see us. We talked for hours, sharing more and more about our lives. These secret moments felt special, like they belonged only to us two. I kept telling myself it was still just a game. It was a bet, nothing more. But every day, my feelings for Henry grew. I started to think about him all the time. I liked his smile. I liked his words. His kindness was special. He listened to me carefully. He always had good advice. He made me feel important. Everything about him made my feelings stronger. It was no longer a game for me. My feelings were real and deep. I truly liked him. I truly cared for him. One evening, we were in his office. The campus was quiet outside. He looked at me. His eyes were warm and serious. He took my hand gently. "Angela," he said softly, "you are more than a student to me. I care about you very much." My heart felt warm and full. His words made me very happy. This was the first time he said something so clear about his feelings. It meant a lot to me. At that moment, I wanted to tell him the truth. I wanted to say, "Henry, this started as a bet, but now it is real." The words were on my tongue, but I could not say them. I was very scared. If I told him about the bet, he might leave me. He might be angry. He might think I was a bad person. I did not want to lose him. I wanted to keep him close. The thought of losing him felt worse than keeping the secret, so I stayed quiet. I just smiled and held his hand tighter, hoping he would never find out the truth. 6. The truth comes out. The bet was a secret for a long time, but one night there was a big party. My friend Sophie was there. She drank too much at the party. She started laughing very loudly. Sophie told a group of students about the bet. She said, "Angela won. She made the teacher fall in love. What a game." A student filmed Sophie with a phone. This person put the video on the internet. By the next morning, everyone knew about it. The news went everywhere very fast. Students talked about it in the halls. They talked about it in classes. Soon, Henry found out about the video too. He called me to his office. When I saw him, his face was very pale. His hands were shaking a little. He looked very sad. He did not look at me with his usual kind eyes. Henry showed me the video on his computer screen. It was Sophie laughing and talking about the bet. "Is this true?" he asked me. His voice was very quiet and low. I tried to explain everything. I said, at first it was a bet, but then my feelings changed. I wanted to tell him that my love for him was real now. I wanted him to understand. But Henry stepped back from me. His eyes were full of pain. He looked at me sadly. "You used me," he said. His voice was not quiet anymore. It was hurt. "No, Henry, I love you," I cried. Tears started to come to my eyes. I wanted him to believe me. I wanted to fix everything. But he did not listen to me. He did not hear my words. He just looked at me with deep sadness. He started to pack his books from his desk. He put them in a box. Then he turned off the office lights. He walked out of the room. He left me standing alone. He was very sad, and I felt like my heart was broken. 7, broken. Henry left the college. He resigned from his job. He did not come to teach anymore. It happened very fast. I heard about it from other students. I tried to reach him. I called his phone many times, but he never answered. I sent him messages, long ones, telling him how sorry I was. I told him my feelings were real. But he did not reply to any of them. He blocked my number. He blocked me on social media too. He cut off all ways for me to talk to him. He did not want to see me or hear from me again. He was truly gone from my life. The college campus felt different now. It was not the same happy place for me. Everywhere I went, students looked at me. They whispered when I walked past them in the halls. I heard some of them call me names. They said I was cruel. They said I was a bad person. Some students laughed at me. They thought what I did was funny, but it was not funny to me. I felt their eyes on me all the time. It was a heavy feeling. My friends also left me. Sophie and the others did not want to be with me anymore. They did not sit with me in the campus cafe. They did not invite me to parties. When I tried to talk to them, they looked away or walked quickly in another direction. They did not answer my calls. I was alone now. I had no friends. My popular life was completely gone. I used to have many people around me. Now there was no one. I stopped going to parties. I walked alone on campus paths. I ate my meals alone in the dining hall. I sat alone in my classes. Sometimes I went to Henry's old classroom. His chair was empty. His desk was clean. There were no books or papers. It was like he had never been there. But I remembered him clearly. I remembered his kind smile and his calm voice. I missed him every single day. There was a deep ache in my heart. I thought about the bet all the time. It seemed like a simple game at first. a fun challenge to win, but it was not a game. It was a terrible mistake. I had played with Henry's heart, and I had played with my own heart too. I understood everything now. My feelings for Henry were not part of the game. They were true and deep. I had truly fallen in love with him, and because of that foolish bet, I had lost him. I had lost everything important to me. My friends were gone, my good name was gone, and the man I loved was gone. My heart was completely broken. It was the hardest lesson I had ever learned. 8, the lesson. Months went by. Life at college slowly continued. I finished my studies. Soon it was time for graduation. I walked across the stage to get my diploma. It felt different from how I imagined it. There was no loud cheer, no feeling of victory, only a quiet sadness deep inside me. The campus, once full of laughter and friends, now felt empty. The experience with Henry changed me a lot. I was not the same Angela who had made a bet for fun. I learned important things about life and about myself. I became more honest with others, always trying to speak my true feelings. I thought about people's feelings more carefully, understanding that words and actions have power. I wanted to be a better person now, someone who valued trust and sincerity. I learned that love is not a game. It is not something to play with or to win. It is real and strong, but also very fragile. You must protect it with all your heart. My heart understood this lesson deeply. I thought about Henry every day. I missed his kind smile and his calm voice. I missed our talks about books, about life, and about our dreams. I often walked by the garden where we had shared our first kiss. The memory was sweet and painful at the same time. I wished I could go back and change things. I wished I had been brave enough to tell him the truth earlier. But time does not go backward. One evening, a letter came in the mail. It was a surprise. The handwriting was familiar. It was from Henry. My hands shook as I opened the envelope. He wrote that he needed time to heal. He said that what happened with the bet hurt him very much. He was still sad and disappointed, but he also wrote that he could not forget me. He remembered our good times and the real connection we shared. His words made me cry. They were sad, but they also gave me a little hope. I did not know what the future held for us. Would we ever meet again? Would he truly forgive me one day? I did not know the answers. But one thing was clear in my heart. I had learned a big lesson. The foolish bet had cost me a lot. It had broken my heart into many pieces, but it also taught me about true love, about honesty, and about the importance of being real. This lesson would stay with me forever, guiding my choices and my heart.